Welcome back, builders, to week 4 of Pulaski's Junior Brick Masters competition. This week's theme was spooky, and wow, you absolutely nailed it. From haunted houses to trick-or-treat scenes and eerie creatures, your creativity was through the roof. Now it's time for one of the most exciting parts of the week, the judges' feedback. And we have an incredible panel lined up for you again. First, we have Pam Arnell, a local first responder who knows how to stay cool under pressure and can spot great teamwork and creativity in a heartbeat. Next, joining us is Heather Ayers, a proud Giles County native who loves seeing how our local builders bring imagination to life. And builders, hold on to your bricks because we have 2 more LEGO Masters this week. From LEGO Masters US Season 4, we are thrilled to welcome Tim Hutchings, known for his sharp eye and detail to innovative building styles. And from LEGO Masters US Season 3, please welcome Tacos. She is known for her vibrant personality, bold creativity, and her builds that stand out from the crowd. And she can't wait to see what you have created this week. Can you believe it, builders? In just 4 challenges, your creations have been reviewed by 7 LEGO Masters. That's something truly amazing and a huge accomplishment. So let's give a big round of applause for our judges and get ready to dive into the Spooky Build Challenge judging.
Well, hello everyone. It's Tim, aka Tank, from Season 4 of LEGO Masters, and I gotta say, wow, you guys really outdid yourselves on these builds. Thank you for letting me give you my input. And first of all, I want to say there was not a bad build or in any way, shape, or form, but I had to make some choices and stuff, and I tried to be as impartial as I could. And I will be doing a second video because I really want to highlight all the special things that y'all did in each of your builds, because they were so much fun. And I really enjoyed, and I'm so honored and proud that I got to be part of this and to see what you're doing. You guys just keep it up. It's fantastic. And no matter how you end up in this thing, you all are LEGO Masters. That's what I tell everybody that I see in the shows, because we all start out somewhere, and we all start in the same place, putting a few bricks together and, making something out of it, and letting our creativity go wild. And so I've never seen a bad build, and I will never see a bad build, because we're all just doing our thing and showing what we can to the best of our ability. So just know that I loved them all, and it was very hard. I'm not a judge. I'm proud of what I do, but I'm just a learning builder like all of you. So I learned new stuff. I learned some new stuff seeing your guys' stuff. I ain't gonna lie. There's some great techniques in probably each and every one of your builds that I will utilize in my Wild West build. And I'm here at a convention getting ready to get set up, so I had to kind of time was a constraint, but I'm just going to share just a second what I did. So that's what I put together. And so anyway, I thank you again, and y'all were excellent. I loved it, and I look for my other video, and I really want to tell you all some cool stuff I saw in all your videos. So, but for the moment, it's great. Y'all are great, and thank you so much.
Hola, I'm Christine, also known as Tacos from LEGO Masters Season 3 and also the Bricktacular Special. And no, I don't normally look like this, as it's Halloween Day. And what am I dressed up as? I'm dressed up as the landlord lady from the movie Kung Fu Hustle. But let's forget what I look like. Let's actually take a deep dive into your spooky builds. Alright, Big Bad Black Widow. All right, what can I say about this iconic character? Not only do I give you kudos for building a brick built character, which I love, but you also built it large. You put it right front and center, and not only did you put it and center, but you also lifted it up off the base plate. It gave the illusion as if the spider is getting up and about to attack. Not only do you have that, you have a character right in the front in fear of this Black Widow about to devour it. I thought the positioning of that minifigure was perfect. It looked like the spider may have been a bit heavy, so you propped it up underneath with some bricks. I thought it was very clever that you used bricks that were the same color as the base plate. I did enjoy watching the letters that are spelling out boo. I thought that was a really pretty backdrop. I did see and appreciated that you had some spider webs in the background. Spiders use spider webs. However, Black Widows, they do use spider webs, but they live in dark areas. So keep that in mind. If you were to focus on having a Black Widow, understand that they like dark crevices. They like caves. So a big Black Widow, something like that, would actually be hiding in a really large, dark area. So having some dark areas basically covering up the Black Widow probably would have been a really useful technique. But overall, really cool build. I really appreciated all the details. Nightmare House. What a fun build. Everywhere you look, there was a fun little story that was being said. But the scenery that was the most striking would have to be the living room, where the TV is positioned up a little bit higher and there's someone coming out. I swear, if that happened to me, if I saw someone coming out of my TV, I would run over my house and head for the hills, because that to me is a true nightmare. Outside of that, the color is very well balanced. The scale of the house looks very well done. The scale of that vehicle, though, it was out of this world. The vehicle was actually almost like a monster truck, which I thought that was really fun. If you're going to have a monster truck vehicle, you want to make sure you have some monster truck tires. I appreciated how you added the archway, making it higher than the monster truck, so you kept to that scale. Very well done. One thing I would have considered is not making it as fun. Everything was just so enjoyable. I feel like I could have definitely stayed looking at that build for hours because of so much detail. Keep in mind, because of all that detail, we kind of get lost in some of the stuff. But the one that stands out the most is the TV scene. My gosh, that is a true nightmare. Witch's Paradise. Wow, this is another nightmare of a neighborhood. I don't think I would ever step in. Great job with the giant structure. I like how you have everything outlined, not outlined, but the lamp posts leading up to the house. I thought that was very good. Keep in mind that this is very saturated with lots of pieces. Sometimes less is more, but once again, this is a witch's paradise, so we're not witches, so we don't know what witches like. So it seems very dense. It almost like it's inside of a forest, and I could see that with the trees, with the owl in the tree and everything. There's so much detail, and then the most terrifying was the giant spider embedded into the ground, kind of like a wolf spider or like a trapdoor spider. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Amazing job, great use of color. I want to know what was behind or beside the house. It looked like a little lava pit or something like that. Really great detail, lots of scorpions, all very spooky. But remember, try to pull back a little bit, because so much detail makes it kind of hard to focus on what is what. However, this truly does look like a witch's paradise. The Ghost of Blackwood Hall. Wow, what a build. This was just such a clean, crisp build. That structure itself was so beautiful. Then you turn it around and you have all these cool little scenarios, but the front of the house kind of stole the show. Why? Because the facial expression that minifigure had, and then you had them running for their lives. Wow. However, this is the Ghost of Blackwood Hall. What should have stood out the most was the ghost, and it was kind of hidden a little bit. So right now, what actually stood out the most was that building. The building was beautiful. The house was beautiful. I think what would have maybe made the build a little bit better is maybe if you put the ghost a little bit higher. Usually you have something that's scary a little bit up above, like any kind of monster, any kind of important character, any kind of villain. They're usually rising up, so keep that in mind. Or maybe even adding something else to the top of the roof. Once again, it is such a beautiful, beautiful build. Keep going. Keep going with this. You remind me of some Lego builders that I know. Trick or Treat Beware. Wow. I could stare at this build all day. There's so much that's happening right now. I will not be trick or treating at that house. Actually, at this moment, Halloween is canceled because no one's getting like in that neighborhood with all of those monsters trying to like shoo away everyone. It's terrifying, but so fun. So many cool techniques are happening here, from the backdrop being using all the bricks that are sideways stacked. I thought that was really well done with the moon in the background. I thought that was really cool, to using heads for the pillars in front of the house, to the use of color for the structure, and even the monster in the front of the yard. I thought that was really clever, but my favorite has to be the lights. The lights take your build to a new height that, it's just, it really makes your build pop. So you can appreciate it in the daytime and you can appreciate it in the darkness. House of Bones, very beautiful build. The colors are perfect. The structure is beautiful. It matches the fence, or the fence matches the structure. The color is perfect. However, I would have added some more graveyards or gravestones. You have this beautiful green grass that looks like it's being, maintained very well. Where are the rest of the bodies? However, the positioning of all the characters are very well placed. Even the skeleton that's placed upside down in front of the house, very well done. Nothing strikes more fear in a family than seeing a skeleton in front of the house. The only thing I would have added was probably a little bit more gravestones or something like that. If you don't have enough bones, you could always have something to represent where those bones are being laid, whether it's a sarcophagus or, a little tombstone somewhere, or even a hole. That way they had some place to actually put bones inside. Spider Mansion. This is a beautiful build. Looks like straight out of comic books. Yeah, the structure itself, very beautiful. I love the colors. I even like the small greenery detail on every window. And then you turn it around, then you have all these little rooms filled with scenarios. Overall, really cool build. Keep in mind, you're calling it Spider Mansion, and there are more skeletons here than there are spiders. So keep that in mind when it comes to the title. I really do appreciate all the cool details of the skeletons and the tombstone area. Keep in mind, this is a mansion as well. Mansion usually has a beautiful entrance. There is no entrance here, so keep that in mind when it comes to actually building a structure. Nightmare on Pumpkin Hill. Wow, what a fun scene. You have the kids walking up that hill to see that giant pumpkin, only to be controlled by like the Joker, I think, in the background. Oh my gosh, so much fun detail here. Lots of really cool technique, from the backdrop, having that night sky, to having, once you turn it around, having that little hidden room. Really cool detail. There's so much here. There's so much cool techniques here. You could seriously do an entire YouTube video on this. Really well done. The colors, everything. It kind of reminds me of The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's kind of what this all reminds me of. Really beautiful. Having all of the little characters, waiting or going up that hill. Very well done. Lots of cool storytelling here. It's just a really beautiful build. Nothing else to say about this one. Trick or Treat Palace is clearly the place to be, because that is where all the minifigures are, or all of the trick-or-treaters. As fun and chaotic as it all is, especially with all of the minifigures in their action poses, less is more. There's so much going on that I can't actually really visualize what the focal point is. It is very fun to look at. There's a lot of detail, but there's just a lot happening. So having a focal point to kind of separate the trick-or-treaters maybe from the palace, I would have probably put the palace, make the walls a little bit taller, or raise it up off the ground a little bit, like putting it slightly on a hill to help separate what the scenario is. Overall, a lot of cool detail, especially when you look inside the house. I thought that was really nice. I saw a bed that had like not tapestry, like a a blanket over it. It was just a lot of details. Even the tables had like cute little decorations on it. So great job. House of Tricks, or is it House of Treats? I'm going to say this is a House of Treats. Why? There's so many cool details. When you separated the floors to see what everything happening from, I don't know if it's a dance floor or just people just hanging out, to that top floor was a little sketchy. Was that like a seance or something like that, with the candles on the floor and everything? Wow, crazy detail. The scale of the structure is very well done. To the snots on the exterior of the house, where you add all these little, floral foliage elements to the plank wood dangling sideways. Attention to detail like that is what's going to always win you the prize, because it's very lifelike. So awesome job. Honestly, I can't add anything to it. It's such a really cool build. All right, Evil Tree of Fright Island. My gosh, this tree is terrifying. So there's something about a brick built character that just really makes me excited. You not only have the tree, but you also have something under a canopy. I'm not exactly sure what that was. It looks like it was some kind of character, some kind of monster. So it's great to see your sculpting ability top notch. Continue sculpting. It's gonna get you to many, many places. Whether it's with Lego or something else, really well done. What is it? Fright Tree or Fright Island? No, Evil Tree from Fright Island. So I would have liked to see something that happens. Not only do you have like a scary tree, but what's the effect of having a scary tree? So adding some people, whether they're running away or something that's mutated. Maybe that was that character that was off to the side under the tiny canopy. I would have liked to see what exactly is that. Because right now, I see the evil tree, but what is the rest of the story? Overall, very fascinating build. Great job. Spooky Bonsai. Wow, what can I say? It's beautiful. Aesthetically, the colors are phenomenal. This is definitely a harvest, spooky time, September, October, November kind of tree. It's beautifully sculpted. You didn't use any leaf elements on the tree itself, so kudos to you to making your own leaves, your own foliage. So really good on that. You did a great job with your tombstone. However, I want to know, why is the tree so spooky? I do see some Halloween spooky stuff on the side, like the tombstone, which is very beautifully sculpted, and you have some spider webs. But what exactly makes it so spooky? I think I would have added maybe some characters nearby, some and positioning them into certain things, some alive characters, not deceased characters, to continue playing on to what exactly is happening. The tree is absolutely beautiful. You should definitely be proud of this build. The cursed house is massive. You basically taking up all the space, and you're taking it up not just on the bottom, but you're elevating it and turning it into a really large structure. Awesome job with that. Great job with the colors. Great job with it. It looks like a pretty strong fortress. However, what makes this cursed? I do see some scenarios within the house that has like some spikes and has a person through it. But what else? What else exactly is happening? Overall, really beautiful structure. I love the stained glass window. Really great detail right there. You even have a little separate spot where, the covering is red. That looks actually very interesting. I really wish I could actually hear the story on that. But overall, really beautiful build. It's really cool. The haunted house is just your classic haunted house. It's beautiful, very well built. I actually like how you had the pitched roof. That is not easy to make, so great job. Then you make the matching tombstones. Amazing job. Having that color coordination pulls everything together. I love how everything in this house came to be, from the layout of everything on the base plate to where you're putting actually characters, even to the hand sticking out of the grave. Oh, that detail is amazing. If the video was fast, I would have missed it, but luckily, Ms. Jen, she took the videos nice and slow, so I was able to pick up on all that little detail. Amazing job. Continue on this path. This is something that looks like a set. It actually is a haunted house, but at the same time, it's still family friendly. So really appreciate this build. It's so cute. The scary pumpkin was not as scary as one would think, only if you look really closely. Really great job with details with this one. From the structure itself, the pumpkin actually looks more like a house. Very well built, by the way. It's very beautiful. To the characters in their action poses all around, to the red balloon in the tree. My question is the reindeer. The reindeer is throwing me off. I can't think of scary when I think of reindeer. So to me, it kind of brought me out of the element, but thankfully it is brown and reindeers exist in real life. But when I think of reindeers, I think of Christmas time. I don't know why. But overall, really cool build, really great technique from having, the tree, the balloon in the tree to the minifigures in the air. I thought that was actually very well. It shows you how powerful and how much storytelling you can do. So great job with this build. Really beautiful. The Great Pumpkins patch is such a beautiful build. It seems very flat, but having those vines around makes everything a little bit more cohesive. Surprisingly, the last farm I went to for pumpkin picking didn't have as many pumpkins, so this was actually really cool. And anything that has movement has my heart, so understand that. So great job with adding all of those cool little elements. This is something that should be like a little set sold at a pumpkin farm. So great job. You should be proud.
Hi, I'm Heather Ayers. I got asked to be a judge, and I just want to thank y'all for letting me do that. And the work that these kids have done is amazing. My son used to love Legos when he was smaller, around these ages, and I just want to say that y'all have done a great job. Keep it up. Like, this is out of the world. Like, I couldn't even do this myself. So just keep it up, and good luck on the next round.
Hello, I am Pam Arnell. I am with the Giles County Fire and Rescue. I want to thank Jen for having me come in and judge. That was really, really hard for me to judge these amazing, just the projects that you're working on. I just want to encourage all of you to continue working on building, making more advances as you go through these challenges. Even if you don't go to another challenge, I really encourage you to continue going on. You are artistic and you have such a gift to be able to build these. And I just want to thank you all and thank you for letting me be a part of this.